Well, hey guys, welcome to my 2023 plant tour of usually rare aeroids. It's been a year since my last plant tour, and I think the biggest difference is I've kind of consolidated my collection into one bedroom upstairs. I used to have my plants all around the house, but in the past 12 months, I've had some, life changes actually. My son started to walk, and then I got pregnant with a second child. And so with all of that, I just felt it would be best to kind of keep everything away from the kids. There's kind of a lot of money on these shelves. So we're gonna go ahead and start out with this is my Scindapsus Silver Splash. I got it as a 1 or 2 leaf cutting, and it is such a prolific grower. It is so fast. You can see in this clip here the root spaghetti. It's kind of dark, but there you go. You can see all the roots. Healthy plant, happy plant. I am always able to take cuttings of it to sell, and then it just keeps growing, as you can see. I love the patterning. It's really pretty. Next door, we have my Global Green Pothos. Also got this one as cuttings. I think this was 2 cuttings. Don't know how many leaves were on each cutting, but happy to say that now it is a full pot, giving me some really beautiful coloring, and it's really happy. I should mention, by the way, all of my collection grows in Leca. I think this was essentially the case for my last plant tour as well. Everything was Leca. But yeah, everybody's thriving in it. Ooh, except for some rehabs, but we'll get to that later. So here's how my Scindapsus Exotica is looking. I know for sure you saw that one last year. It's really pretty. This one just recently has been converted to Leca. Recently being like a couple months ago. It's doing great. It didn't even take a hit. You can see some root growth there, and you can see a little new growth point activated after a cutting was taken. Sorry, I love showing you guys the roots. A special plant for me. It was my mom's, and she gave it to me before she passed away, so I will always love this plant, this specific plant, not just this species, but this plant. Like this one. Like these leaves were hers. I've just grown some new ones, so. Ooh, Philodendron Majestic, which is a hybrid between Sodori and Varicosum, I think. You saw it last year, but I've taken a couple cuttings, and I think I trimmed it back to like a 1 leaf that I kept for myself. And I think it might be that one, maybe. And it's doing really well. The most recent leaf is super big. Here it is compared to my hand. And ooh, here's an ugly Micans. This one's nasty. I might get rid of it because I just don't know if it's worth the effort of like rehabbing it. It has had, I think the biggest problem is it keeps getting grow light burn. And it's just not pretty. Like, look at this. That's just not pretty. And I don't know. I've got other plants I like better. Like this beautiful jade satin Scindapsus. Oh, I got it as a 1 leaf cutting, and I think it took a minute to kind of get started, but it grows super fast. Lovely dark leaf with like a little bit of just a tiny bit of a pattern on it. And I've done a lot of like chop and prop just to fill the pot. And so it's got a lot of growth points happening right now. I think in this little clip, if it focuses, you can see 3 active growth points. Ooh, Scindapsus. This one is Silver Lady or Silver Princess. This 1 leaf was super silver. I don't really know what was going on there. I think this one is Silver Princess. It's doing beautiful. I purchased it as a couple of nodes, and it was rooted in sphagnum, and But unfortunately, I think after I got it in and I checked on the roots, I think the roots were actually really bad. If I recall correctly, I don't know. But anyways, had to reroot the thing. So it's kind of gotten off to a slow start, but it's really finally starting to pick up the pace. And I just love the coloring of this, how like it is so silver, and like just barely blotches of dark. Here's Scindapsus argyrius dark form. It was like a one cutting that had a lot of nodes. I've just been kind of twisting it around in this little cup, hoping that those nodes continue to root, because I'd like for it to become more full, but it's doing okay. Love this one. This is my Scindapsus Platinum. I think it is Scindapsus Platinum. I believe I bought it in as Scindapsus Silver Hero, and I really need to do more research and do some more side-by-sides, but I think what I have is actually Platinum, and it's growing onto the other shelf here. You can see. This plant is so pretty. So silvery. And then right next door, we have its sister, Scindapsus Tattoo. So this one that I'm pointing to now is Platinum. And the other one on the right is Scindapsus Tattoo. So kind of some subtle differences, but it is different. This one's more green. Growth pattern is weird on this one. It's just one vine. It needs to be chopped up and put back in. Like, look at this. This is kind of like cringy. The original leaf, I think, is going, but there's that vine. I have that in the water so that maybe that will root with like no effort. And then here goes the vine, just kind of twisting around. It's starting to shingle up my wall, which I love. I love the veins on this. It looks like so intricate, like dragonfly wings. Look at that little root grabbing onto the wall. All right, moving over a shelf. What am I going to show you first? Scindapsus Silver Cloud. A lot has happened to this one. It grew all the way up to the top of the plank that it was on. And the growth pattern, or the coloring of this, changed as it began to shingle. And I actually didn't like it. I liked it better before it was shingling, so I cut it all down. We're going to start over, make it a vining pot. Sorry, this one is Philodendron Cream Splash. Super duper pretty. This one I traded for a cutting of my Dean McDowell. And it was not a lush pot when I got it. It was like a few rooted cuttings in a pot. And I can say now it's really lush, and it's even like reached a caterpillar stage, which is exciting. Here's my Jose Buono. How do you say that? Jose Buono? I don't know if I've ever said it out loud. But I got this grown from a chunk, like a wet stick, like no leaves, no roots. And it has given me beautiful variegation and coloring from the start. These smaller, older leaves, absolutely stunning color. Look at this one, I love it. And then I thought the color was like kind of going, because I had this leaf that had like nothing, and then this one came, and I was like, ooh, okay, it's not gone. Oh, so pretty. Look at that. Focus. There it is. Super pretty. And then next door, my Trebui Moonlight Scindapsus. I feel like we all got this when it came into like garden centers, but if yours was like mine, it was not good. I rerouted the whole thing, and it's a super slow grower, but it's really stunning, and I think it's finally happy. And then down below, got a couple philodendron, and of course another Scindapsus. Here's that Philodendron Splendid. When I got this, it was like one of the tiniest plants I've ever purchased, and I am so excited it is finally like at hand size. Dreams come true, you guys. It looks so velvety, so plush. I love this one. This is my Philodendron Ploumanii X Pastazanum, a hybrid between those two beauties. It's been a rough start. I think the plant I originally bought from Equigenera, it was super like gangly, long petioles, so not pretty, not compact, and I kept getting spider mites. But it's doing great now. Here is my Scindapsus Black Mamba, which I am obsessed with. I keep trying to sell people cuttings and nobody wants them. I don't know what's going on, but it's grown up the shelf. Here is like that next shelf up. Look at that beautiful thing. This is a whole mood. In Indonesia, it's called Scindapsus bentol or something, because once it shingles and starts to grow up, what am I showing you here? This is a horrible clip. Oh, I'm showing, it's not focused at all. Yeah, I was trying to show you that once it like starts shingling and growing up, it gets super bumpy. Yes. This is what I want. This is beautiful. And I have color graded this footage, but that's about how dark it is. Okay. This is a big change. I have an actual greenhouse now, indoor, and everybody in here is super happy. The humidity stays at about 80%. Of course, for this little clip, this is not 80%. This is like 99%. I had my humidifier on extra long that morning, just so that way I could like get it in all its misty, foggy glory, just to talk to you about how much I love this greenhouse. But okay, here's that El Chaco Red. I know you saw this last year. I cut the top off and sold it. And then it activated 2 growth points instead of 1. And then I let that grow for a really long time. So I had a double-headed El Chaco Red. It was super lush and super thick. Oh, there's where I cut it. I cut that second head off. I was like, you know what? I want money to buy more plants. So I cut it off. I don't really know how I feel about that. I kind of miss my bushy Chaco, but here I'm just trying to show you the red in the back of the leaves. I've heard it goes away as the plant matures. That may be true. So he pretty much takes up the whole floor of my greenhouse. I think this is my largest plant. And anytime I want to walk in the greenhouse, I have to remove the El Chaco Red and just put it somewhere else, or the Rubra Juvenile, whatever you call it. Here's some of my Anthuriums. I'll talk about them more in detail. I'm just kind of giving you like another view of the greenhouse now that big guy is out of there. So here's my Anthurium HU, which I don't know how to say the name, but that's the initials of the guy who hybridized this. It's also known as the King of Spades. This is one of my first imports from Indonesia, and it's doing really well after a rough start. This one is a beautiful specimen. I love it. Here's my Anthurium crystallinum. I decided that this would be the first plant I experimented with Anthurium-wise for a chop and prop. And this is the one that survived. It's doing okay. Anthurium Crystal Hope. Stunning. I've got a little bit of, I think it's fertilizer burn, or maybe I need to flush the leca or something, because you can see the crispiness on the edges. But other than that, look at the veining, the silver. Oh, I'm obsessed with it. Like, I think I show you here, or I try to show you. It's so sparkly. This plant has flowered for me a few times. I recently self-pollinated it, and I think that self-pollination took. Here's me just trying to like get that in focus. And a new leaf on the way. So yeah, I think I was able to successfully self this guy. It'll just be a test of time to see if the berries actually ripen. Anthurium warraquianum, doing well. A big growth in the leaf size. Here are some of the... Okay, I say it's doing well. I don't really know if that's great. But anyways, this is Warrock X Magnificum. I showed it to you last year. It has since then grown to be so massive. El Chaco is the biggest plant as far as like the floor space, but this plant has the biggest leaves. Here's the newest leaf, still hardening off nice and soft. Maybe this is normal, or maybe I'm doing something wrong, but I have found that the bigger the leaves get, the harder it is when they emerge, because I get a lot of damage on them. Here is a flower. Oh, that was a quick clip. Anyways, pollinated that today, actually. Philodendron, no, not splendid. This is the glorious. So last year you saw it sitting right next to my majestic. This one I also cut a little bit, but I did not go as crazy as I did with the majestic as far as like just chopping it up. So this one is farther along in its maturity. I'm so excited to talk to you about my albo. It's finally fenestrating. It's finally gaining size. Look, there is, compared to my hand. I had it on a moss pole for a long time, but I could never keep that moss pole moist. It would not root into the pole. And so finally I said, forget this. I took the pole out. I put a plank in, and it almost instantly started to attach to the plank. Here I've got some like half moon action going on one side. Some of them are perfect half moons, some of them aren't. And then here's me. I think I'm trying to show you how, I don't know. I'm just showing you the plant. It's actually 2 plants now. I did cut it, but I left everything attached. So this is that second plant right now that kind of grew after I cut it. It's way more minty. Look at the happy roots. Some of that white has started to brown after a very long time. Look at this root. My camera doesn't focus on this. I remember trying so hard to get it to focus. Here, I just nudge it into the pot. I've never had aerials grow this long, so my monstera is super happy. Here I'm just showing you, I think, where I cut it and how now it's 2 vines. Oh, here's my Thai. And currently battling some root rot. I mean, the battle is over. What you see there, any brown, is actually just the aerial roots, mostly. But I'll let you know how it looks next year. Anthurium luxurians is doing well. Here's a new leaf on its way in. It's given me a few flowers. I think I tried to use the pollen on something. Didn't take. I don't know. I think I've fallen out of love with this plant. It used to fetch a really high value. I paid a lot of money for it, and the value has since dropped. Look, okay, here it's flowering again. The value doesn't mean anything to me, but I think back when I decided to get it, it was very hyped up. Now that I've had it, I don't really know if I like it. This is my Anthurium Warockex Cyrenoi, not doing well. I think it has a bacterial or fungal infection, and I'm showing you the ugliness to crowdsource what's wrong with it. Okay, Philodendron Mayowie, Rhaphidophora tetrasperma variegated, focus, an import, and I cut part of it off and it's activated, and I'm super happy about that. Baltic blue pothos cuttings. Okay, I've got this new propagation box, which is like a container. Oh, I'm just showing you the propagation shelf. Okay, here's the box. Mostly, if not completely, Anthuriums in here. Anthurium Fairchild crystallinum. This is like a rehab box. This is Queen of Hearts chunk. You might not care about all these unhealthy little guys, but I at least want to look back on this once they're beautiful. This is Dark Form Tezula, Ace of Spades. Yeah, I really want that one to glow up. I got a great deal on it. Here are some Papillilanimum chunks that I'm experimenting with. That one right there is activated, so that's super exciting. Inside here, I think this is a Ploumanii node that kind of grew a little bit. Literally, I don't know why I'm showing you this. It's just so like when I do my next tour next year, I can be like, oh, look how it's grown. Little takeout box with some Scindapsus. This is a silver cloud cutting right here. Scindapsus no ID. I am so excited about this one. That is so beautiful. Look how pretty that is. And I've already got, growth point activated. Roots are doing okay. Here's another Scindapsus no ID. Current status, 2 growth points. Scindapsus Green Army. I just kind of quick fire through some of my Scindapsus props. This is Scindapsus Sparkling, I think most of these are no IDs, but they've just been kind of given a name. Scindapsus exotica variegated, so I was told. You can kind of see it, like some light patches and dark patches. It looks sick, but it's not sick. Don't know if I'll keep it. I think this one is SP Malaysian or something. I don't know. This one is dark something. Not Dark Dragon. Oh, this I think is Silver Hero. I think this is Silver Hero. And I don't know if you can tell the difference. Oh, we're done with Scindapsus. Oh well, gotta keep moving. A Plowmanii. Super like narrow Plowmanii. Look at that. Look how pointy he is. And there's another leaf. And ignore the ugly ones that you see back there because they're old. Yeah. I guess I was feeling this Plowmanii. You get a little extra footage of him today. Gloriosum is doing well, crawling very nicely. I think this is the biggest leaf in my care on this plant. Here it is with my hand size. Super happy. Very velvety. I don't know if I'm giving him enough light or if I'm giving him too much. I know that they're low light guys. And I know that they'll kind of tell you if they're getting too much because they'll crawl away. There's some roots in Leca. I don't know where he's going. I don't know how he's crawling. He or she, I don't know. So I don't know about the light. And then kind of same thing. Here's my Dean McDowell. Again, am I giving the light too much? Too little? It's just, they're not, neither one is crawling in a straight line. Anyways, I'm done musing about it. Here is just the pillowiness of the leaves. Kind of an older leaf looking, ew. I think it had spider mites at some point. A lot of my plants have had spider mites at some point, but now you know you're not alone. What am I showing you here? Hey, here is a Scindapsus mayari, which is a variegated Scindapsus. This was a top wishlist plant for a long time. I waited for a long time and I found a good price. Here I'm showing you something I didn't know until I got one in person. The white side is not pure white. You can kind of see the white still has the silver patterns on it. Rewind if you need to see that again. And here is Anthurium Queen of Hearts. I don't know how I feel about it. It was a wish list plant. I saw pictures. It looked amazing. It looks amazing. Still, ew, look, this is when I discover that I had spider mites on this. Actively, like webbing right there. So if you don't know what spider mites look like, learn from me. I sprayed it down, and then here's my Bessier. Right next to that one, it also had spider mites. So I sprayed this down. Emergent leaf had some spider mites. Okay, we're away from that spider mite shelf. Here's a Forgetii dark bullate form. That's the leaf I got. The first one you saw was the leaf that came in. Oh, I need to tell you about this. So maybe I'll freeze the frame real quick. And I hate to do this. But if you have an Anthurium and it is a young one and one of the leaves is not doing so well, and for whatever reason you need to cut that leaf off, do not cut it all the way down. Cut off, but leave the stem, because that's where the next leaf is gonna emerge from. And you can kind of see that here. I'll go ahead and play the clip. And okay, here's another example. This is a little seedling, Pink Lemonade X Bessier AFF. She's doing good. Same thing happened though. One of the leaves died, but out of that stem came the next leaf. Here's my Papillilanimum. Oh my goodness. I think a big difference from last year is spider mite damage. Really sized up, and you can see it's in a cup of water because I just impulsively decided it's time to chop this guy. Here's the back of the leaves. My color grading has actually done me a disservice. The back of the leaves are red. Here's that top of the Rhaphidophora tetrasperma cutting. Plant, not a cutting, that I imported. Here is Tribui dark form, Tribui. How do you say that? I don't know. This one, those two giant leaves are the leaves that grew in my care. Love it. Here's a Melano. The same Melano that I'm just trying to mature. I'm trying to get it to size up, but then I give up and then I just cut it. Start over. Here's a variegated Lechlariana. There's another clip of that Forgetii that I'm obsessed with. I cannot wait for this to harden off. It's still not hard. Okay, new one. This is a Carla X BVEP Black Velvet Eastern Panama. Here is a Sodwari True Form. Here is a variegated bipennifolium. Here is some Silver Cloud. I'm sorry, I know I'm going quick, but I think it's better this way. Horsehead Philodendron or Golden Dragon. And a Florida Ghost, which has always stayed super minty. I kind of want it to be more white, and I think I'm finally getting there. I gave it more light. Here I'm just showing you the minty prettiness. Yeah, I think it's good that I'm just doing it a faster video, kind of quick fire, voice over the clips, because I could literally talk to you for hours. Here I'm showing you that the first leaf I got on this Florida Ghost is still white, and it's been a year. Okay, tell me what this is, because after I cut it, a growth point developed and grew this, and it kind of looks like a cataphil, but it's not a cataphil. Here's the newest leaf on the Florida Ghost. You can see that it is a lot whiter, and that's because it's pretty close to my grow light. So actually I think this has opened up since I filmed this clip. I need to go look at it. Anthurium clarinervium. Can you tell I've really gotten into anthuriums in the past year? Loving an anthurium, like seriously. I wouldn't say they're my favorite, but I don't know, they might be. Here is my, let's just take a moment to appreciate that new leaf. We worked hard for that one. This is a Doc Block Zara X Michelle that came to me super ugly. All the leaves were mangled. And then when it finally grew its first leaf in my care, it had spider mites. Here's a dark form round forgetii. Not looking pretty. Don't know if I like it. I think I have to get it pretty before I decide if I like it or not. But yeah, I know this was really quick, but I chose to do this format just because I know this could be a 2-hour tour if I allowed it to be. I hope you were able to see everything and appreciate everything. I'm generally really happy with everybody's growth and progress. Of course, I've got a couple rehabs going on right now, but I'm looking forward to next year being able to look back and see how everybody looked, because the next video I'm about to make is a react to last year's tour. Go watch it.